time to start the show. And I'm going to get started right after this.
What's up, everybody? We got Ty Alston in the building. What up, buddy? Sorry I tuned in all sorts of late. I was having some issues getting going.
It's all right. We made it. We're here. So it's all good. It's all good. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Hanging in there. Oh, yeah.
So we have at least something to talk about. I don't know. Did the Bryce Huff trade actually go through?
I don't know if it went through or not yet. I've heard they've agreed, but I didn't see that it's actually confirmed. So it's weird right now. I can't find any information that's actually been confirmed and the deal is complete. Like normally you hear he came in, he had a physical, he met with the team, blah, blah, blah. Haven't seen any of that. Not one bit.
And right now I'm looking at the latest right now, just because it's pending a physical.
Okay, see, there we go.
So there's the answer.
There you go. The old pending the physical. So
yeah, got to pass the physical, right?
Yeah, of course. We're not trading for damaged goods. That would be crazy.
Well, so, in other news, it's like, here we are, though. We're past any sort of deadline that there could be for any free agent to be signed to the 49ers that would actually impact the compensation pick formula, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, who's still out there, And, I mean, there's guys like Asante Samuel still out there. There's that one guy that we were supposed to sign. What was it, DJ Humphries?
Yeah.
Somehow, I don't know how that fell through, but somehow it did, right?
Maybe the agent agreed to it, but he didn't. So,
that could be the case.
Because it's the agent that put it out there that it was agreed to. And then all of a sudden, DJ himself was like, oh, pump the brakes. Not yet. So, hey, he might not want to play in California or something. Who knows?
Well, Aaron Rodgers is still a free agent.
Oh, my gosh.
That's not a us problem. We signed our quarterback, right?
Exactly. We got a full quarterback room. We don't even
Spongy,
need him.
what's happening, buddy?
What's up, Spongy? We could ask Spongy about the Huff trade. He would have told us.
Oh. Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen are still unsigned, huh?
Yep, they're still unsigned.
Safeties, Justin Simmons and Julian Blackman.
Justin Simmons. Yep. They're all out there.
That's interesting. Although all these guys are kind of, like fringe. They didn't really do a lot last season to the point. Well, at least Amari Cooper. Like Keenan Allen's always been reliable, even though he's older now. He's always been reliable. Right. And right now, these guys are ranking them. They got, hold on, they got Amari Cooper as the top free agent. I'm not going to say who this is. Aaron Rodgers is the second. Keenan Allen as the third. J.K. Dobbins, the running back from the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, he's a free agent. That's interesting. Justin Simmons from the Falcons. Of course, Julian Blackmon from the Colts. We just talked about them. And we talked about Asante Samuel Jr., who's kind of, he did just play 4 games before a shoulder injury in 2024.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So there might be some questions on how good is that soldier doing. But
exactly.
He allows under a 63% completion percentage, which that's not necessarily that great though.
He's a
Kaiser White, the linebacker from the Cardinals. 137 tackles. Wow.
Well, it's mostly because their defense was on the field a lot.
that does have a lot to do with that, but Darius Smith is still a free agent, but he's getting older now. We're trying to get young and hungry, right?
And we just got our pass rusher. Well, pending a physical, we got our pass rushing specialist. So I don't think he'd be in the mix unless Huff doesn't pass his physical.
But so in other words, there are still solid veterans out there,
Yeah.
Not saying we're looking at any of them because I highly doubt we are.
No.
Being the 49ers, I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
Because pretty much that ship has sailed. We've already been through free agency.
Yeah, the whole mantra this offseason was to forego going out and getting these free agents as 1 and 2 year rentals, and let's start getting young guys and building them to be, possibly on the team for 4 and 5 years. And that was, instead of focusing on free agency, let's focus on the draft and try to, build up our roster fully. So that's been the game plan, and that's what they went with, aside from signing special teams guys. But we know special teams, needed a complete overhaul, and that's what they did.
Well, and it's just one of those things. Like a lot. Like I was asked by one of my guys, why is there all these guys still in free agency, right? Why are they still there? Why? And it's a good question. Like, why are these guys still there? But it's also like it seems like sometimes the NFL likes to keep players in reserve, right?
Yeah. We see this every year. It happens every year. There'll be a bunch of guys just out there in free agency, and it doesn't matter if they're older or younger, if they're coming off injury or they played all 17 games the previous season. There's just a certain group of guys that are out there who you think, they could be productive in the right situation, but they just linger in free agency. So I think teams like to hang out and see how their roster shapes up, during mini camp. And if they see a glaring hole, a weakness, that's when they go shopping.
And that's, again, like if a guy goes down with injury in these OTAs or something happens, these guys are there to be scooped up, right?
Yeah.
But it almost makes you wonder, like, why aren't the teams actually signing these guys, the Asante Samuels, the G.J. Humphreys, the Justin Simmons, he's a good safety. It's almost like, why aren't these guys getting signed? They're at the point now where if they get signed, they're not counted against the compensation. They're honestly going to be on like 1 year prove it deals at this point, which some of these guys have already proved it. And it's just one of those things, like, what is the actual reason? Does the player have a bad attitude? And like we don't hear about what happens a lot behind closed doors, and
right.
That's the truth. We don't. So it's like a guy like what was that? Walter Nolan. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, this guy's got a piss poor attitude. Like he's gonna drop." And he dropped for a minute, but then he got taken by the Cardinals. Yeah. Right? So it's like, I've always been saying that when it comes to draft picks, well, not always. I started this last off season. I started thinking like these teams make these rumors up because they want the guy to fall to them,
Yeah.
And there could be some truth to that. We don't know, right?
Yep.
But when it comes to free agents sitting, a lot of times they're sitting for a reason. Maybe they're recovering from an injury. Maybe their inconsistent play, and a lot of teams are like, we'll rather take a chance in the draft and stick with the guys we have versus sign this guy.
Yep.
Like Asante Samuel isn't a bad corner,
no.
But
and he's only 25.
Yeah, and
very young.
The fact that he hasn't found a team,
Mm-hmm. But once again, that shoulder injury could be a concern, and I think he's in line for a whole fresh contract. So does the team want to sign him? Is he asking for too much? Like, we know how agents are. They ask for a lot. So that could be a problem too, whether it's the injury or money. Who knows?
And, so we're at a strange point. OTAs are happening. There's a lot of reports. Oh, this guy looks good. That guy looks good. It's no pads. They're not really contacting. It's not really football.
No.
So right now they're just more or less like the rookies are learning. All the new guys are learning the system. That's literally what this is about. So it's not about Jordan Watkins looking really good, the wide receiver.
Versus air.
Yeah, that has a lot. His hair. That's exactly it. It's the hair. But, and, it's, well, once we get helmets and, pads, they have helmets on. But once we get pads on and they're able to start making contact with them and actually start playing each other, that's what I'm looking forward to. Right. But they don't just hop into that, they'll ramp up to it. Right.
Mm-hmm. And that doesn't happen until actual training camp, correct? Like, they don't do any of that in OTAs.
Nope.
Like, right now, this is just
actual training camp to happen.
Yeah, this is just 7-on-7, 11-on-11 drills. And like you said, it's not anything hard, anything aggressive. It's more just the learning, going through the details of things, not actual football stuff, as in the physical part. So, yeah, a guy looked good catching a ball against nobody, or a guy letting him catch it. That's great. But let's see how he looks when he's really defended. Or let's see how our corner looks when he's really going against a number one. So right now it's fun, and it's fun to talk about these guys, but we won't know what they really are, like you said, until training camp.
That's right. We see the pads come on. We see him playing actual football,
Yep.
And it's just like, I don't quite know what to think. Like I said, it's just OTAs, folks.
Exactly.
So the Madden cover doesn't get announced for a month and 9 days, something like that. I think it's July 11th, right?
Yeah.
A lot of speculation about it being Saquon Barkley. The top 3 contenders are him, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson. Which just may be one of the first times I've actually not hacked up Jamar Chase's, name. But
I thought it was confirmed that it is Saquon, though.
I've seen many pictures that it's going to be him.
Yeah. I thought they officially said it today, though.
Ooh.
And it's him on the cover. Even
they did.
McCaffrey even made a video saying, "Hey, Saquon, congrats on being a new Madden guy." So it's official. And shout out to everybody in the chat confirming it. Yeah.
Oh, poor Spongy. Poor Spongy.
Couldn't happen to a better guy.
Look, the Madden curse has been going on since 1999. Garrison Hurst, okay. And typically something happens and the guy does not have a good season or gets injured. Something always happens.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm sure the player thinks they're honored by being on the cover, but please don't put me on the cover. I wonder if that's what the player actually thinks. Like Damien, what's
depending
up?
on the player.
Team, the 49ers, that's right. Steve also says
the world's team, the 49er Empire. Yeah.
Yep. Wow. Poor Spongy. I was actually telling him on Twitter. We were discussing it in one of our groups, and I was like, Saquon Barkley, dude, he's a leading candidate. He's like, no, and honestly, if you look at it, the offensive player of the year in 2023 was CMC, right? That was the AP offensive player of the year. He won the Madden cover. So the AP offensive player of the year in 2024 was Saquon Barkley. So here it is, he's on the Madden cover, And I was making jokes earlier in the day. Maybe him and Hurts will share it. You never know. I was just messing with you, Sponge. I love you, buddy. But oh, look, Levi. Niners fans went from saying the Madden curse ain't real to watch out for that Madden curse.
No, we want them to get
Levi. Garrison Hurst was a 49er in 1999.
Oh, man, Garrison Hurst. Jeez. That was rough.
But, it's like, what else what can you do? Just have to see what happens, right?
Yep.
And, the off season continues. There's absolutely no drama in Ninerland, which is just awesome. It's like
there never is.
I did see on Facebook someone Photoshop a picture of Brock, and they're saying he put on like 40 pounds. You should have seen the size of his arms in that picture. I was laughing.
I talk about how jacked up he is now.
Every offseason, someone does this. Every offseason, someone does this.
Yeah.
But, hold on a second. What? The real story is also the center for the Lions retired?
Yeah. He announced his retirement today. So they got a need at center. Yeah.
Oh boy. We hey, do they want Jake Brindle? We'll trade him to you. Like, make the Niners an offer they can't refuse. A 6th-round pick. He's yours.
Yeah, way to weaken us.
I know, right? It's like, then we'd have to go with a guy like Matt Hennessy or, Nugent, because I was actually looking at the depth chart, Ty. So Nick Zakelj is listed as an offensive tackle, right?
Yeah.
Our centers are Jake Brindle, Matt Hennessy, and Drake Nugent.
Yeah.
And then, that they had the guards and, they had what was it, Kobe Connor? Wasn't that the guy we drafted?
Yeah.
And then they had Moss, like, the undrafted free agent offensive lineman we signed. But then it was like I was looking through the list, going, Nick Zakelj's an offensive tackle. I thought the guy played guard or center. Like,
yeah, he did. Well, allegedly, he can play anywhere on the line. That was his big selling point when they drafted him. Like, he's versatile enough to play anywhere. But the problem is he seems to be a jack of all trades, master of none. Like, he can't get a foothold on one exact position. So, is that a big red flag? Like, should we have him out there? I don't know. Because last year they were talking about him as being a guard. Guard. Now all of a sudden it's tackle. Like, dude, which one is it?
And he was a center too, right? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, on the depth chart, he is listed as a guard. So
I don't know what they're going to do with him. He's supposedly in the competition, in the mix at left guard. We'll see. We got to wait for camp to see how he holds up against a pass rush. Like, can he do some run blocking?
I heard CMC taking one less step. I think Steve was messing.
Yeah, because everybody was looking at that one stupid OTA video talking about, oh, he looks slow. He lost his step. I mean, OTAs in their shorts going half speed. Like, come on. Fans are really dumb.
And at this point, do you really want him going full bore at it?
Yeah, exactly.
Look at what he did last year.
That's the funny part. Like, everyone's like, all right, he needs to train different. He needs to take it easy, not go crazy in the off season. Try to just be in shape and rev it up during camp. And now all of a sudden, oh, he lost a step. Which one is it? Do you want him to go full speed all out? Or do you want him to take it easy right now? It seems like fans are just never satisfied.
Well, it's at this point, we're 49er fans, buddy. We're never satisfied, are we?
I am. Well, actually, I'm not. I just need another Lombardi. I need another Lombardi. So I won't be satisfied until that happens.
Yeah, that's what needs to happen. Just to.
Yeah.
Well, I would say shut the other fan bases up, but they'll just think of something else.
Yeah. Always.
Let's be real. It'll go from, you guys haven't won a Super Bowl to, oh, you guys only have one.
You only want, well, it took you 30 years to win another one. They always move the goalpost.
That's exactly what they'll go to,
Yeah.
I know it. Do you have a stream with Mariah tonight?
No. But I am on location. I'm in a hotel, so I don't know how good this Wi-Fi is going to hold up.
It's doing okay. I mean,
Okay.
we'll just go a couple more minutes because what? Hold on a second, Steve-O.
What is going on in the chat?
Okay. No, him and Damien are.
Oh, him and Damien. I see it. Yeah.
Him and Damien.
I'm following the thread down. All right. Carry on, gentlemen. Carry on.
Yeah, he ain't talking to us, so no biggie. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all that's going on with the 49ers right now. There's not much to really talk about,
No.
And it's all about chilling,
Yeah.
Like,
it's good to see, but it's good to hear that everyone's in OTAs, vibing together, having fun, seeing them being refreshed. And everyone, vets and rookies, just acclimating with one another, learning from one another, hearing Mikael Williams, being a sponge to Nick Bosa, and the rookie linebacker, what's his name? Nick, whatever his name is, being a sponge with Fred Warner. That's what you want from these rookies. So it's good to hear these little reports come in.
It is good to hear these reports coming in, rookies looking good. Well, that's all right. We'll just have to wait till actual OTAs happen.
Yeah. Like, they're going to look good, but I like to hear the stuff like I said, Mikael Williams being a sponge with Nick Bosa, actually like looking up to his vet, getting tips, trying to learn from his veteran so that he can get ramped up to speed as quickly as possible within the defense and within his own individual craft. Because we need to count on these rookies. So let's get more of that. And Alfred Collins needs to sign his contract.
I see that. Hold on a second. Let's see the doggo. Ty's about to be internet famous. Come on, Ty. Internet fame. Let's see the doggo.
Kim. She's trying to hide, but she's right there.
There we go. Ty is internet famous now.
There we go.
Doggo.
You can't be famous unless you get your dog on the stream with you.
That's exactly it. I gotta work on that. But the thing is when I get one, it's probably going to be a puppy. So it's going to be like, here's the puppy. The puppy's going to be, you're going to see teeth, teeth biting my finger and me going, ah, yeah. Puppy teeth are sharp.
They are.
Oh, red zone. What's cracking, buddy?
What's going on?
But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot going on right now.
Nah.
So at this point, we should probably cut the show off because I got stuff to do. Ty's at a hotel on location.
Yep.
Somewhere, on the dark side of the moon. He's over there visiting.
Parts unknown, as they say.
But oh wow. But all right, folks. So we're gonna get on out of here. East Coast Red and Gold on Wednesday. Are you going live?
8 p.m. Eastern. Yes, we are.
Because last week I swear I was looking for the notification.
Yeah, we took last week off.
I was confused. I was going, huh? Like, where they at? I was confused. Yeah. I was going, where's my people?
Well, we'll be back this Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. East Coast Red and Gold podcast.
All right, folks. So everybody have a great night. Corey Davis 49er Wednesday, where we'll be going in depth onto I'm gonna look at more free agents, folks. So we're gonna go in depth onto why is this guy sitting here? maybe even play some Jackbox if Levi's down to play some Jackbox, just because it's the off season. Why not?
Exactly.
So everybody have a great night. We will see you on the next Niners Coast to Coast. And as Corey Davis says, go 49ers and F all